Here's how your life looks as you climb every rank of the Stoic Warrior. Level 1. The distracted civilian. You wake up tired. You went to bed at 2 a.m. doing nothing in particular. Scrolling, watching, existing. You have goals. You talk about them. You post about them. But when it's time to actually sit down and do the work, something pulls you away. A notification, a show, a conversation that goes nowhere. This is not laziness. This is something more dangerous. You have been trained to avoid discomfort at every turn, and now your mind runs from it automatically without your permission. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself, not to the world. On every new morning you will meet with ingratitude, violence, treachery, envy, and selfishness. He wasn't warning you to fear people. He was telling you to stop being surprised. The distracted civilian is surprised by everything because he prepared for nothing. You are not broken. You are just asleep. The difference between you and the man you want to become is not talent. It is not time. It is this: he decided to feel the discomfort and stay in the room anyway. Most men never make that decision. They rearrange their furniture instead of rebuilding their house. But you opened this video. That means something is already shifting. Level 2. The apprentice of discipline. You start small. You have to. Discipline is not a personality trait you either have or don't. It is a muscle, and yours has not been trained. So you pick one thing. Wake up earlier. Stop checking your phone before noon. Do 20 push-ups before you do anything else. It feels ridiculous at first. 20 push-ups. You feel almost embarrassed by how small it is. But here is what nobody tells you. The act is not the point. The proof is the point. You are proving to yourself in real time that you can say you will do something and then actually do it. For men who have spent years breaking promises to themselves, this is revolutionary. Seneca wrote that the primary sign of a well-ordered mind is the ability to stay in one place and spend time in your own company. The apprentice of discipline learns to do exactly that. He stops running from himself. He starts building a relationship with silence, with effort, with the slightly uncomfortable feeling of doing something hard when something easy is right there waiting. This is where most men fail, not because they quit dramatically, because they quit quietly. They skip one day, then two, then they just kind of drift back to who they were. No announcement, no moment of decision, just gravity pulling them back down. Do not let discipline be a phase. Let it be a foundation. Level 3. The student of Seneca. You start reading, not self-help, not 5-minute summaries. The real thing. Seneca's letters hit differently than anything modern. He was writing to a friend named Lucilius, but he was really writing to every man who ever felt like time was slipping through his fingers faster than he could grab it. He said, begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. Not next Monday, not after the next paycheck. Now. The student of Seneca stops treating philosophy like decoration and starts treating it like a weapon. He learns that most of what he calls suffering is actually opinion. That most of what he calls desire is actually borrowed from people around him who are just as lost. That the opinion of a man he will forget in 10 years is controlling decisions that will define the next 20. Think about Walter White in Breaking Bad. A man who understood chemistry better than almost anyone but never questioned why he was living someone else's version of his life. By the time he decided to own his existence, the method he chose destroyed everything around him. The lesson is not to become Walter White. The lesson is to do the inner work before desperation forces your hand. Philosophy is not weakness. It is the only thing that makes strength worth having. Level 4. Master of negative visualization. This level makes people uncomfortable, and that is exactly why it works. The Stoics had a practice called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Before anything you value, you sit with the thought of losing it, the relationship, the health, the momentum you've built. You do not dwell on it with anxiety. You visit it with clarity. Marcus Aurelius did this with everything. The man ruled the most powerful empire in the world and wrote private notes reminding himself that his authority was temporary, his body was temporary, his reputation was temporary. And then here is what happened. Nothing could be taken from him that he had not already released. This is the level where your relationship with fear changes. You stop running from the thought of failure. You walk toward it deliberately in a controlled environment, so that when life brings the real version, you are not encountering it for the first time. Most men only think about what they want. The master of negative visualization thinks about what he would do if it was all gone tomorrow. The answer to that question reveals a kind of freedom that comfort never will. And this is where most men stop. Because this practice is not pleasant. It asks you to look at the thing you love and mentally hold its absence. Do it anyway. Level 5. Conqueror of Desire. There is a man named David, not famous, not wealthy. He grew up watching his father spend money before it was earned, owe favors to people who collected in ways that cost more than money. By 25, David was doing the same thing, buying things to signal a version of himself that did not yet exist, upgrading his car while his savings were at zero, looking the part of someone who had figured it out. One evening he read this line from Marcus Aurelius: "How much more damage anger and grief do than the things that cause them." He replaced anger with desire and read it again. He sold the car. He moved into a smaller apartment. He stopped performing wealth and started building it, not because he stopped wanting things, but because he decided that desire would not be the one making his decisions. The conqueror of desire is not an ascetic. He is not someone who pretends he wants nothing. He is someone who has looked at his impulses and chosen which ones get to drive. The others sit in the back seat, acknowledged, not obeyed. Seneca said it plainly: "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." Every purchase you make out of emotion is a small surrender. Every time you hold and don't act, you get stronger. Level 6, the Stoic Sage. You won't arrive here permanently. Nobody does. That is the point. The Stoic Sage is not a destination. It is a direction. It is the man who does the right thing when no one is watching, not because he fears consequences, but because he has built an identity so clear and so solid that acting against it would feel like self-betrayal. Think of Gladiator. Maximus did not hold on to dignity because it was easy. He held on to it because everything else had been stripped away, and what remained was character, the things the world could not reach. That is the sage, not the man who suffers least. The man who is moved by suffering without being defined by it. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, lost children, fought wars at the edge of the world, and never stopped writing to himself about what kind of man he wanted to be today. Not in a lifetime, not eventually. Today, Seneca chose his death. When Nero ordered it, he faced it without theater, without panic. He had spent decades practicing the thought of it. When it arrived, it found a man who was ready. You will not be tested like that, but you will be tested by failure, by loss, by a version of yourself that wants to take the easier path every single morning. The Stoic Sage shows up anyway, every day, not perfectly, but deliberately. You started this video as one person. You can end it as someone who has chosen to become another. The rank you claim is not given by the world. It is built in private, in silence, in the moments when nothing is forcing you to be better except the decision you made about who you are. Marcus Aurelius wrote it 2,000 years ago, and it has not aged a single day. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. That is the only rank that matters. Now go earn it. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.